All right, another episode of Survivor 42 down. This one resulted in High being voted out. I simultaneously was bummed about this result, but also thrilled about this result at the same time. High was on my draft team, and he was looking like one of the stronger players going into it. But he ended up looking very Ricard-esque in that he was a good player, but also like everyone knew that he was a good player, you know, that kind of thing. So it was like, how far can you really get with that being so publicly known? Whereas Omar is taking that role of a really good player that the other players don't seem to notice is a really good player, you know, which is kind of where you want to be, I think. And I think he's giving off a great winner-like energy here coming into this out of this episode, especially where he's getting everything his way basically with no eyes on him. So that's ideal in so many ways. All right, so he basically orchestrated this being able to happen to begin with by telling Mike that High talked about Mike being his puppet that'll do what he wants. And this was a very good lie, because it was obviously feeding into something that Mike was already thinking about, and so it was a very believable lie. He had no reason to doubt it, and therefore, like that's the best lie you can tell in Survivor, you know. And it really fed into what he wanted to do. Ironically, Mike was kind of being Omar's puppet in that way. That was really, really well done by Omar, and he's doing a stellar job so far this season. It came down to, like, everybody was quickly, it was an interesting episode because everybody was quickly on board with getting High out, actually. There was no one actively opposed to it. So much so that by the end of the episode, Omar was almost like, should I not do this? Should I work with him because nobody wants to work with him? Should I do something else here? And switch it to Jonathan? And then, so we thought like, oh, here we go. Now he's going to switch it to Jonathan. But it ended up being High anyway, which that's a fun outcome. And he was a really good sport about it and a great reaction to me voted out. It's fun to see the mold kind of being broken, so to speak, you know, where it's like Jonathan, Challenge Beast, won immunity and got out of the double tribal last time, and then he did not win immunity this time, so obviously he's the next up, right? But no, it actually subverts that, and we get something a little different. That's not to say Jonathan isn't next, but that also leaves more of an opening for Jonathan to have a run towards the end, but we'll see. Lindsay won both the reward and the immunity back-to-back, and she brought Omar and Mike with her, and they were all kind of conspiring against High from the beginning there, and that's how it kind of all started and unraveled. This is really interesting. I really love what Omar's bringing to the game, and like I said before, High was on my draft team, but also Omar was, so I'm fine with this outcome as well. The question is, will people catch on to Omar, and will they catch on quick enough? I don't know. I don't see it happening, because honestly, you have these people like Jonathan will be a target before him. Mike will be a target before him because he's very obviously like a good, a very likable player out front. One of those kinds of Elaine types that people just are drawn to. And maybe even Marianne could have a similar charm there, but Marianne has an idol. Mike has an idol. Drea has these different advantages. She has the knowledge of power, which she could potentially use against, well, so far Mike would be the only option she knows about, so probably Mike. So I can see all that being a mess and none of that really being directed at Omar. No one's looking over here at all, and I just can't see it happening that quickly. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're catching on more than I can anticipate. And I think Omar would be able to tell a convincing enough story once he gets to the final tribal to actually sway some people his way, and not like get no recognition for it. It seems like he could definitely get the recognition he deserves if he makes it there. But yeah, players like Romeo looking less and less likely that he could actually win. Marianne with this new idol, maybe she could have an outside chance, but it's still, I'm finding it hard to find that path necessarily for as the winner. Mike, if he could make it to the end, would be had to have a great case. Jonathan, if he makes it to the end through a run, maybe, but it's even becoming less and less likely that will secure him a win, because people seem to, he's rubbing off on them a little wrong, and his like people were talking about how he's bad at the social and strategy elements, so that might work against him as well. Lindsay, I don't think she's built enough of a case for herself. She could definitely be one of the like losing finalists. I could see that for sure. Losing to in the fire making, something like that. Drea was very quiet this last episode, at least, so I don't know really what to expect from her. She might be at this point, unlike the Xander train, where she's just like she has this stuff, but no one might actually respect her game at this point. I don't know. It just seems like she hasn't been doing much recently. And she barely saved herself the last tribal. But maybe she'll surprise me and she'll come on with a strong run at the end here. She'll have some showmanship if she still has Mike's idol, I guess, and maybe gets him out as a result. So there's a lot of elements there. But obviously Omar is the man to beat at the moment. But I'm excited to see what happens next, alright? So if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, and hit all the links in our description for our social media and any feedback you might want to leave for us, for sure. Alright, and stay tuned. Every week we're watching Survivor Guatemala as well, so that's fun for you old school fans. Until next time, check out our review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie that was released recently, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, for sure. Alright, take care.